So I want to start this video off by saying many of us have not actually defined our value system, especially when it comes to what we actually value and believe, mostly because it requires us to do the work, which most often we skip. And understandably so, because one, it's hard as fuck. Two, we mostly don't know where to start. And three, we are often taught, even if not proactively or consciously, to compartmentalize our feelings in order to get through. So, what we do instead is focus on our pursuits, our achievements, monetary gain, material shit that we often equate to success, including our careers, what we get done, all that jazz. You know the vibes. And these things often become like our default value. And in turn, we end up placing too much value on our pursuits and the things that we want to accomplish, which we think will in turn make us happy. But what we often end up doing is the opposite. Because what we truly find happiness in, we often don't even really know what that is or what that looks like. And this is really why once we get the thing we've been working so hard for, the job, the career, the material things, the Chanel bag, the new car, the big house, we often find ourselves feeling emptier than we did before. And I don't know if any of y'all can relate to this, but I know I have. And nothing feels worse than doing all that work and striving for a goal and pushing, only to find yourself feeling lost. So let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Christy. Welcome back to my channel. And if you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm curating this space as a place to focus on our mindset so that we can live the most fulfilling life possible. And I do that by sharing some of my own personal feelings and thoughts about lots of things. In this video, we are going to talk about how our blessings can often be delayed because we're not actually doing the work that matters. I talked about before how a lot of times we are often caught up in the superficial things that we think will bring us happy, that we don't focus on purpose. And I want to really touch on how that has played out in my own life. I spent a lot of time focusing on a lot of the things that I touched on in the beginning of the video, which was material items and jobs and positions and status and roles. And even after achieving a lot of that stuff, I still felt so empty inside after doing so much. I still felt like I hadn't done anything. And I want to share a few things of how this played out for me. So maybe, and you may recognize some of these things within yourself that I felt like really held me back from getting to my goals. I'm finally in a place where I feel like I'm at my purpose point. And now that I can see it in hindsight, I can see some of the things that I did along the way. So I'm going to share some of those, and maybe these will maybe help you identify some of those things in yourself so you don't get caught in those same traps. And for one, so one of the top ones is money cycles. All of my adult life, I have gone through these money cycles. It is so easy for me to get money, y'all. But once I get it, I get really distracted from what the goal is supposed to be. And this hinders me from getting further than I actually could have been. I know that sounds crazy, but it is very, very true. And I realize that, like, I will come into lots of money. God will move me in a direction. I will pursue it. And then, boom, reward payoff. Boom, boom, boom. Money, money, money. And then I get the money. And it's like, girl, how did we end up back here? And that type of money cycling to me was a something that I can point out as something that once you hit the milestone, it's kind of like, okay, we did it. And it might not even take a long time. Like, it's just, it would be so easy to do that I would get it and then be right back to the beginning of the cycle. And then I got to go all the way back around and right back. And so I noticed that's a thing that I needed to be mindful of, because it oftentimes the money sometimes wasn't aligned to purpose. And so I felt like that blessing was being blocked from keeping me from going all the way through the cycle, instead of getting to that point and then going up out of the cycle. And so that's one thing that I feel like to be really mindful of for me. That was a major thing. Another thing was spiritual disobedience. And I will even align this with a concept of ghosting your dreams. So let me tell y'all, I am an idea machine. Okay? I churn out great ideas, concepts, business ideas all the time. And my mindset was just not right in a place where I could execute them all, because I would find myself continuing into a place of doubt. And as I would kind of trickle into this doubt, it would in turn create more resistance than just following what was told to me to do. I have been sitting on so many ideas, and it's a reason why I'm sitting in front of this camera now, even though I don't particularly love to do this. A part of me has been called to do this and share these things and be more vulnerable and open about my experiences, because it's something that I have to do. I don't even know where this is going to go. I don't know who's going to see this. I don't know who's going to watch this. I don't know if anybody will see this. But a part of the process is doing this in order to create less resistance and getting out of my own way. Because by creating that resistance, it's blocking the blessing. When we create a lot of the resistance in our lives. Yeah. We create a lot of the resistance in our lives. And that's by not listening to that instinct in you, that voice in your head. And when you're tapped in, you know that voice is spirit leading you to where you're supposed to be. And once I started to quiet down all the clutter, I could believe confidently that that voice was God, was spirit telling me what I should be doing. And even when I knew it was God, I still wouldn't listen. And see, that's where the extra resistance came from. So stop creating additional resistance for yourself. Trust me, stop doing it. And another thing of resistance that I realized that helped me realize that I was self-sabotaging or getting in the way of my dreams was having a pretty nasty fallout with my family. Like, and not everybody in my family, but I had to really get in a few asses, like real bad. And it started with one person, then I would have to, another person would get in, then I would have to get on them, and then another person. And those issues and that stuff was pressure building up that honestly were things that needed to be addressed so that I could become the type of communicator I needed to be, the type of person that I needed to be for my next move, my next blessing. I needed to go through those things, and they were some pretty motherfucking bad things, y'all. It got ugly, it got nasty, it got physical, and maybe someday I'll talk about it. I don't really want to talk about it right now, but shit got really real. And I had never been through that kind of turmoil in my life. But looking back in hindsight, I knew it was something that had to be done, because nothing will be worse than what I experienced in those moments. Nothing will hurt as bad is what I experienced in those turmoil with my own family and loved ones. Nothing will hurt me as bad as that. So no matter what comes at me, no matter what anybody says to me, negative comments, negative feedback, nothing will hurt me as bad as that did. And I think having that experience has prepared me for the worst of anything that's to come. Because when I tell you that built my skin up, when I tell you I'm ready to give whatever I need to give, I'm ready to ignore whatever I need to ignore, whatever I can move past anything because nothing will hurt as bad as that. Period. And so going through that was really eye opening. It's like, okay, that was an obstacle I needed so that I can stop doing some of the other things that are holding me back. This eliminated a fear. This worked through an issue or worked through a problem. So also within that conflict and kind of releasing that and working through it, it helped me realize that a lot of the family based values that I probably have or the things that are important to me or I thought were important to me were actually not. So that in itself allowed me to be able to reset, spend time with myself, get really clear. Get really clear. And it allowed me to really be okay with accepting that this is or is not what I want from my life. This is or is not what I'm feeling, what I want to do. This is what I want. This is what I need. This is what I want to experience. And so, as much as that was pretty crazy, it really helped me move through and do more and move past and help me get to the bottom of what my why really is. What is my why? What do I care about? What do I want to do? And for me, that is really speaking to helping women get to a place in their life where they feel free, they feel open, they feel like they can do whatever they want to do, feel whatever they want to feel, experience whatever they want to experience or not. And the culmination of all those things I just talked about, I feel like have opened up the path to getting or allowing my blessings to flow free. It was a lot of work. And that blockage had a lot to do with me getting my and that blockage had a lot to do with me getting in my own way. And now that I've moved myself out of the way, everything can flow freely. Like my mind is not blocking me from getting my blessings. I can shut that down. It's similar to like in golf why my swing is a little bit janky. And it's because I'm not just following through and releasing and letting go. And I do the same thing in bowling. But that has been kind of my experience of understanding. But that has been my experience of trying to kind of work through all that. So I know this video was a little bit all over the place, but I hope that it actually made sense or kind of help y'all get the point. And if anything in here was a little bit janky, just let me know and we can do another video to clear it up. But I say all this to say that if any of these things feel familiar to you, then you may also be doing the same thing and stepping in the way of your own blessings. And I want to try to help you get out of that. So if you have any questions or want any tips, let me know in the comments. If you like this video or found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And if you know anybody who could benefit from it, please give a share. And make sure you subscribe and come back for when I share more videos that can help with your mindset shifting. So until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.